Yeah, let's go. Welcome, welcome, guys, to my Love Island USA Season 6, the reunion recap. And we are back. I know, guys, you're like, Tamika, where have you been? Where's all my other recaps that you owe me? Sorry. My job has decided they don't like me and they want to keep me at work morning, noon, and night. My bad. I barely watched anything but Love Island content for the last how many ever weeks. I have not watched The Bachelorette. I have not watched
I have watched The Bachelorette. I have watched it.
I have not watched, but I know who the new Bachelor is. I haven't watched The Bachelorette. I haven't watched God, what is that other show?
Love is Blind UK. Have you watched
Oh,
that?
I watched the first set of episodes for Love is Blind UK. We can talk about that. I want to try to do that in a little bit of a different format, but we can chat about that. Not here, but separately. And then I haven't watched Claim to Fame. And
Oh
then
wow, you've been
no,
on
right?
that too.
I've been off on everything, and then because I literally been working morning, noon, and night. But we are here.
Hmm.
Oh, let me go live on Instagram. Go live. Um, to chat about this reunion episode of season 6. So yes, guys, we finally had an amazing, a popping, absolutely amazing season of Love Island USA.
Yeah.
And so we got a reunion.
Hmm.
We're here to talk about it.
Yes.
With me to talk about is Miss T Joy. How are you tonight, Miss T Joy?
I'm good. Girl, I got a lot going on. I was in here packing. I'm going to DC tomorrow. Go see Usher. Hopefully,
Usher,
hopefully,
Usher, Usher. Hopefully he's feeling better, right?
hopefully he's feeling better. And I was trying to watch the DNC, trying to watch the reunion, trying to pack, trying to finish up last minute reports. But I'm here. I'm here.
Jessica stopped in earlier and says, I'll catch the replay later. She just wanted to say the reunion was underwhelming. Random question: why did they sit PPG and their men far away? We know that they are in couples. Let them be left up. I don't know, but I tried to tell people from every reunion that is very similar to that. So, Traders, which is also on Peacock, the Housewives, which is Bravo, which is linked to Peacock, right? They always have those couches, right? And so I told people, I said they're going to have couches, and they'll be like, high, high and low step, and they'll be back to back. This was like a, how do you say it? Like an auditorium seating. It was very, very
Hmm.
odd styling of seating.
I
Um,
agree.
Case Burner is here, and she says, I came to be nosy. I'm watching DNC convention, so I missed the reunion. I'll watch it now. And so far, I'm watching it now, and so far, not impressed.
Hmm.
KB popping in to say hi. Hi, KB. And
Okay.
per se, hey, I don't know what I just watched. Some of the conversations shouldn't have been on TV. And then someone's like, why are we still having this conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah. KB says the room was mid. We didn't need everybody back. Some folks didn't even say one word.
Like
And it,
Harrison, like Harrison, did he even say hi?
he did. He did say hi right in the very beginning. The thing is, some people did say stuff, but I think they cut it out. I think they cut it out. Yeah. So for me, I came into this like this is gonna be mid. So it was mid. So I'm like, okay, yeah, pretty much what I thought was gonna happen. Now they tried to shock us. So we're getting a two-part reunion. We didn't get a two-part reunion,
No.
right? So Nigel only breathed. Nigel ate pizza.
Breathe with those tight pants on. Why couldn't you dress better for the reunion? Like tight
Why are
pants,
you wearing the
thong in the
same?
pants.
So why are you wearing the same shirt?
Right.
For
It was so
Noah?
tight. It was so tight.
Terrible. Hi, Mad. Mad says, I don't even know how to feel after that. I'm left more confused.
Girl, what are you confused
Let
about?
us know what you're confused about. I'm not confused, very confused. So,
Well, I
let,
am confused about one thing.
okay.
Okay, let's talk about why does Janae know the truth and Nicole doesn't? If I was Nicole, I would be bothered by that. Like, why does Janae have to be the one to tell me when you did it? Like, that's very confused. I would be confused and I'd be pissed because why does she know and I don't know? I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
like that. I don't
Yes.
like that. I don't like
Yeah.
to be in a blindsided with information, like not to know information, and then to know you straight up lied to me when I asked you what it was. No, I
Mm-hmm.
don't like that.
And I do think that is why we got the reaction we got from Serena that we got, right? And I haven't gone on the internet tonight to see what the thought processes are on how everybody reacted to the reunion, but we will talk about how we feel. So to start off, the reunion was introduced. We know that Ari is in New York, in Chicago. So they thankfully held the reunion in New York
Yeah,
instead of
which we
Fiji
thought
this
they
time.
would.
Yes,
Yeah.
which you thought they would. They held it in the same studios that they do, like Traders and the Housewives. Yes. So we've all been watching them go back and forth in New York doing different things, doing different press all week. I went to a panel discussion
Yeah.
on Friday where we, got to meet some of the Islanders. They had some conversations about things that had happened both at the reunion, after the show, what was going on, how they felt about their experience. It was a very good panel. Some people didn't show up that we thought would show up. So, like Serena was supposed to show up, Leah was supposed to show up, but they did not. But we did get Kaylor and Liv. We did get Cordell and Rob, and we did get Kenny and Janae. So it was a very solid panel. It was a. It felt like we had a bunch of teenagers there. It was loud. It was a little disorienting. And I'm grown. So, yeah.
The teenagers loved them, girl. I know it was full of teenagers. I
Yeah,
know.
they were very upset because Leah didn't show up. Um, so we got a lot of good information. They had pre-warned us. Kaylor stood on business. Kaylor was single. Um, and that the reunion was an experience. And I can see how the reunion was a lot for them, right? It
Mhm.
might not have been a lot for us, but I do feel like based on what I'm seeing, I saw here, they put them through the ringer and then cut half of this out, right? Because if
Mhm.
you even see like in some of the conversations, you see what you call it, Daniela's crying, and she hadn't even said anything, which means that they were probably all crying, and then they cut all those parts out.
Mhm. Yeah. I
So
just feel like it's such a disservice, and I keep saying this, and I just feel like with the younger generation, as people get younger and younger, they do not know how to effectively communicate. And
yeah.
a lot of situations arise because people either miscommunicate or
Mm-hmm.
they don't
Or
communicate.
don't communicate.
Right. And so it's like Daniela and Aaron both apologizing, and neither one of y'all said anything. And I appreciate Kaylor telling Daniela, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. But it is still like all this time you could have told me stuff and you still ain't said nothing. You
Right.
still
So
don't say
like in
anything.
one respect, can you get mad at Janae if she let the truth slip to Nicole, knowing the
I'm
truth?
not mad at Janae at all. I'm upset with.
Oh, no. I'm not saying you're mad. I just
Oh
hope
yeah, yeah.
nobody is mad, right? At Janae, because I could see people being pissed off that, oh, why did Janae even say anything? We don't know in the manner that Nicole found out. We just know that she found out from Janae in some manner.
Right. But the root back to that is, why does Janae know and I don't know? It doesn't even matter what if Janae told me or not. The
Right.
problem is you didn't tell me. And
Correct.
again, Aaron, you wait until we get on here to tell me you don't have your hand down her pants. You get on. I don't know why that was a surprise to Kayla. Did she not watch where Daniela said she was motioning that he was down there. Like we all saw that. Like did Kayla not watch that part? Because she claimed she only watched certain episodes,
Mhm.
but she said she
I think
watched the
she did
Casa
watch it.
episode.
I think she did watch it. I think she wanted him to admit it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think she was like, okay, and I will say this: she came out after the show. A lot has happened after the show, so she did come out after the show, and he said he was going to sit down and watch Casa with her. And I was when he said that, I was like, red flag, red flag, red flag. She instead, oh, you know what? I don't have my light on. She instead decided that she was going to watch Casa all alone. And I was very proud of her for actually doing that because I did not want him to gaslight her in those moments. And so she did watch Casa alone and she was upset. But I think what she did was she confronted him like, you did this, you did this. You said you didn't tell me that. You said you were, going to tell me everything and you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, again, the opposite of what we know happened with Serena and Cordell.
Yep.
With Serena and Cordell, he told her everything, including conversation, including how things were said, why they were said. And so that's part of the reason why, we saw here, Serena decided his second chance was okay because he ultimately wasn't ever lying to her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But with Kaylor, he just continued and continued and continued to lie to her instead of saying, okay, you've watched it now, I fucked up really big. I'm sorry. He just kept going on. No, it's not that bad. No, you know what I mean? I didn't do anything. You're reacting properly. Then he went on some podcast and tried to throw shade at Serena, and then got everybody up in arms. So, yeah, like I don't think it's that Kaylor didn't watch it and didn't understand it. I think she just still was expecting from him what she could not get, and then I understand why she was pissed off because then I've been asking you why, what, where, and you wait and hold on till the reunion to try to give me that when things are really, really bad.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So,
she probably had sex with him again too.
yes.
She probably was
Yes.
like,
I mean, they were in LA together. They were in Fiji together. They were in
no,
New
I'm
York.
talking about that first day in New York. She
The
probably
first
hadn't been
night.
missing him.
Yes. Yeah.
Fell back into the trap because he was because you heard her say, "I'm tired of you love bombing me." He was
Mm-hmm.
probably brought her some stuff and was this and this and that, and fell in the trap. And she, with him, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, no, wait a minute. Liv probably got in her ear like, you ain't doing that again. Now you're supposed to be holding him accountable. And then she probably was like, let me back up. And then she get to the reunion. And I guess she was like, oh no, you not gonna embarrass me
You're
again now.
playing in my face again. You're playing in my face again.
Again.
Matt says it felt so chaotic. I couldn't get a clear read on everybody, and that's why I felt confused. Okay, fair. KB feels Nicole was exasperating though. Same one-sided argument when she had egg on her face during the dance challenge. Yes, her reaction is exactly the same, and we are going to discuss that. KB also feels they edited a lot because they know how the bullying has been. And Matt says, true, I always call Love Island a messy game of telephone. Prashay wants to know, I think one of the PPG girls said that they were recording or on set of the reunion for like 11 hours. So from what we know, or what I know, is that they had gotten there around 1 and they did not leave until like 1, like 12, 1.
Yeah,
So,
I think Janae had said something like that, right? But that's usually how reunions are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the housewives, all that, they'll tell you they get there like 6 o'clock in the morning because they got to get their makeup because they get their makeup and stuff done there. They usually got to be on set by like 9 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
They got to break for lunch, then they break for another, snack and bathroom time and stuff, and they be going at it and they be there for like 12 hours. So it is, it's a shift, and then half of the stuff get taken out. Yeah, so it is. It is something. So I do believe that. Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
definitely a lot. Um, KB points out that Cordell was also visibly remorseful, and his actions were all afterwards were a good indicator for Serena, whereas Aaron gave red flags from start to finish. Absolutely.
Start to finish. And like she said, I remember that when she kissed Connor, he blew a
Ooh,
gasket.
a gasket.
Like he act like it was the end of the world. Like this woman, they were not boyfriend and girlfriend. They were just in the couple. He act
Yeah.
like she had done something, done him dirty. You hear me? He talked about
Yeah.
his mama.
And
That's what he
even
was
worse,
acting
when she kissed Connor in the challenge. I mean, Hakeem in the challenge,
like.
right? Like
Hmm.
he was just insisting that something was going on between them two. And it's like, well, it was in a challenge. Meanwhile,
Right.
you kissed this girl in challenges, you kissed her outside of a challenge, you were just going buck wild
Right.
and then lied about it. Or
Absolutely.
or admitted a lot
Absolutely.
of truths.
Asking her to take showers, hand down her pants, just all kinds of stuff.
Right. And I noticed they never addressed what Rob said about Aaron saying to bring Daniela back,
Right.
right? Because he said that on a podcast. Like nobody's gonna address that, like whether or not that was true,
Right.
or do you
I
guys?
believe it was true. That's what I even thought in the moment before he
Yeah,
even said that on the podcast. Remember, we were like, he must have asked her to bring him because why would he? It just didn't make sense why all of a
mhm,
sudden she been with him this whole time, and then he said he gonna break it off, and you say that's who you want to concentrate on. It just didn't make sense. I was like, this is giving us a setup. He want his cake and eat it too, and you trying to play it off because
yeah,
y'all butt buddies.
yeah.
Like Liv said, it's one thing. This y'all was sharing a toothbrush, but this taking it to another level.
KB says, and she kissed Connor and Hakeem. It was early days, and they'd only been about a week.
Exactly.
It was like within the first week. So the reunion starts with Ariana introducing the reunion in New York, very similar to how she introduced it in Fiji, the little dance number, and not as iconic, which I probably should have showed us how the reunion was going to go. But we do get footage of them arriving in New York, and Nicole, which we had seen on social media today. If you watched, they asked who was going to do their big one, and people thought that Nicole was going to do her big one. And yeah, Nicole was going to do her big one. She says she has some things to say about between me and Kendall that haven't we need to get the truth out. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Kaylor says that a bunch of shit has gone down tonight, but I am not going to shed a fucking tear. That I did enough of that all summer. Kendall says there's a lot of good people, and he's very excited. And then we see the crowd screaming for PPG. And Serena saying having supporters and all of this love makes you feel so sweet in life. And Cordell says it's going to be a hell of a reunion. Stay tuned. Something's going to happen. So, and Ariana says, yeah, and don't worry, I brought the receipts. And so we do see the setup for the reunion. Everybody is on stage but the final four. And Ariana starts by asking Kaylor about coming home to her hometown. Is she now the most famous person there? And Kaylor says no, but it was good to get some hometown love. And then she asks Aaron about being New York. Was it his first time? He said yes, but he is not only, he's nervous for the reunion, but he is excited as well. So she does talk to some other Islanders. She, talks to Daniela, talks to Sierra and Harrison. We never got a
Yeah, are they
read.
together still?
Are they together or not? I'm going to assume not, because why? um Cassidy and Nigel. So basically all those people that we kind of Daniela spoke a few times through the reunion, but Sierra Harrison, Cassidy and Nigel barely spoke,
Barely.
barely got anything out. We don't know statuses of what they are, what they're doing.
Well, we know her and Rob friends. We know that.
Right. Right.
She was just horny. In other words, I was just horny and I was doing what I had to do.
Oh no, not Cassie, Cassidy.
Oh,
Cassidy.
Cassidy. Oh, okay.
That came in with Kenny and Nigel.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she Ariana snaps her fingers at Andrea and asks Andrea how she is doing. Andrea snaps her finger back and says she would spin, but she's sitting down. And Ariana asks Hannah what was the most surprising thing coming out of the villa, and Hannah is upset with the amount of hate she got for her makeup. It was hurtful. She knows she's a bad bitch.
But her makeup was terrible. I'm sorry. She gotta own it. And in that clip they ran and they showed the boyfriend kissing her with that makeup on. It just was terrible. It just was terrible.
Not only that, it was like her makeup was terrible through the entire season she was on.
And it didn't look like, anyway, I'm gonna keep my.
But she got upset because the promo pictures that they put out, even then, her makeup, she was just.
That's what I'm saying.
I have seen so many pictures, TikToks, video of Hannah with either soft glam or no makeup, and the girl is beautiful.
So why, when she gets on TV, does she feel the need to put all that makeup on?
I don't know. And I'm going to say
it's not doing her any good. And then she doesn't know how to do a proper setting, like a setting spray or powder, because it shouldn't come off. It's just terrible. I'm sorry. She's not paying. You gotta either pay the MAC girls or something, even at the mall. I mean, they could do something better than this. No, I mean, because I remember I used to pay at the mall. I mean, I go to a makeup person now, but I remember back in the day in college, you go to the MAC counter.
You take your little tipping coins and your money to buy the product. And, okay, I'm just going to buy the foundation just so I have it. But
right, and then they can do the whole, exactly.
Your whole thing.
Because baby, even they be putting setting spray. Even they make sure you good, you right. So I don't understand that. I don't get that.
And Perche is pointing out it was terrible for the reunion. It was. Like her. Like I'm not even talking about her dress, because as we talked about Nigel and so. Listen, there were worse dressed people there.
Yeah,
I'm talking about her look. Her look.
Exactly.
It just wasn't. It's just not. I mean, and I hate to say that, because I understand feeling confident in the way that you feel confident.
Right.
But I need her to figure out a way to feel confident with less makeup, because she looks so good with it. Right? Like she just the stark makeup is just not
right.
And I hope she sees that. I hope she sees that she's beautiful without taking on.
Obviously, she don't see it, because even with all of that bullying that happened, she still came to the reunion doing the same thing. So obviously, she don't see it.
But Ariana says, "Hey, like you and me, I stay with an overlined lip." And I said, "It's not just the overlined lip, darling."
She was trying to make her feel better.
She did try to make her feel better. So she asked Liv the best thing, and Liv says the friendships. No one understands them or this experience like they did.
Mm-hmm.
And Ariana does say the Friendship Island was the best thing about this season. And she goes ahead and introduces the final four. And so they all come out and hug everybody. And so she goes, one by one, and she talks to Nicole and Kendall and asks if he's popping bottles still in the club after this. And he says, maybe. And Janae and Kenny, did you pick out everything you're wearing? And Janae says he got dressed on his own. The joke is that we know, and she winks at Ariana, and Ariana says, good job, Kenny. The joke is we know that she changed her dress last moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried to get him to change his outfit to match her.
And Kenny like, nah, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. So funny.
I don't blame him. He like, no.
I already got ready. And then we see Leah and Miguel And she asks about Leah's horses from one horse girl to another. And she says they're good. She commented on Ariana's post about her horses. And I said, Ariana, say it. And she said she didn't. And Leah's like, oh, you're too cool for me. Ariana says, oh, bitch, I'm here.
Right.
Working in New York. Of course I'm busy. But then she asked Serena and Cordell about Cordell if he got the Cheez-It deal. And we know that he got the Cheez-It deal. The Cheez-It deal dropped today. He'd been teasing it on the panel on Friday when I went, that he got the Cheez-It deal. We're going to see it right before the reunion. He was right. We got, like, yesterday they teased, today they put out. So it's like a little box with him on it. And it's like, I think it's going to be like either a double pack.
Yeah, it's something like a couple, Cordeezy cheesy couple.
Yeah. And
so I think they can have the white cheddar and the regular or something.
I think because he wanted to do like the jalapeno and white cheddar jalapeno. I think it might end up being the hot, because he had two boxes in his hand, and like I think his TikTok one, and it was the hot and spicy one, and then the white cheddar in the other hand. So I think they might be mixing those two.
Okay.
So he did get his Cheez-It deal.
Talk about manifestation. Talk about it. And what if Serena had never asked him that? You see how it's all divine? It's all divine. Like, people were talking about her like, oh, she making fun of him. But what if she had never asked him that? He would have never put it out in the universe, and it would never happen. See what I'm saying?
People were insisting that she should not get anything to do with that deal. How dare she made fun of him, which she didn't make fun of him. She just asked what it was. He's like, and he said he liked Cheez-Its. He really liked Cheez-Its, and they both were laughing. And today she shared, she's like, look at that. Look at your long-term goals. And he's like, we did it.
She don't have to be in that. That man gonna spend that money on her. It don't matter. Yes. Whatever he get is hers anyway, so it don't matter.
Not even that. She don't gotta be on it, because he's still wearing her ring on the fucking box.
Right.
Hello.
Oh, he loves her down. I love them. They love each other. She'd be like, my man, my man, my man.
Yeah. And so she congratulates them on being crowned the winners and asks how things are going. And Serena does let her know that, she moved into a new apartment, so it's been busy and she needs to get used to things while also getting comfortable in a new place. And Ariana brings up them becoming boyfriend and girlfriend, and was Serena expecting it? So I thought we were going to get footage of their date night.
Of him asking, right? I wanted to see that.
Me too.
But you know what? Serena wouldn't have let that happen. She wants it to be private. Remember, she just wanted that moment to be private. I mean, she told us, but she wanted that moment to be private. That's why she told him on the show, don't get no ideas. Don't do that. Don't do that. That needs to be for us. So she probably didn't. They probably asked them for footage, and she probably was like,
Well, we do know that they were filmed. So there was a camera crew there.
There was. When he asked her?
Now, I'm speculating, this is my own speculation, that since we did not see it at the reunion, I do think that PPG is trying to get their own reality TV show.
I think that too, because I do notice when Janae goes somewhere that she has a whole film crew. I do notice that, like, she has somebody filming. I didn't know.
We did not. They definitely filmed her going to Dallas and going.
Yes, I saw that, but I didn't know Serena and Cordell was doing that, because I've never seen, like, they don't, when they're filming, I've never seen that. When Janae's filming, I've actually seen the person in it and setting up and all that stuff, but I never saw that in Serena and Cordell's.
So I do think that there's possible we will see a lot of that on a backdoor pilot, possibly for the PPG reality TV show.
That would be nice.
I'm here for it.
Somebody following Leah and Miguel too?
I don't know. We haven't seen a camera crew, and you remember he surprised her when he went to LA. Mm-hmm. So we don't know, and they didn't take footage. Like, the girls didn't take footage.
Well, Serena didn't, because she was like, it would have been obvious about the surprise or something. So
yeah, and even he did. He recorded himself right before Leah got in, but not like during or after.
Yeah, I did see that.
So we will see. We'll see. Listen, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And so she does ask, about being boyfriend and girlfriend. Did Serena expect it? And she's like, no. I just thought it was going to be a regular date night. And Ari asked her ideas, what was the details, and that's what Cordell was like. All right, yes, no,
Let me
listen,
tell you what happened. Set it
I
up.
have it all planned out for a while. And he reached out to a restaurant to see how they can make it happen, make it special to them, have them in their little, separate special room off to the side, off by themselves. And we saw a piece of the Instagram when they or the TikTok where they said that they were boyfriend
Hmm.
and girlfriend, and I am so happy for them. I
Me
really am.
too. Absolutely.
Then we see a video recap of the season, which they could have kept. And Ari says, Rob, how was it to watch it back? And Rob says it was emotional. It's cool to see the whole journey play out right in front of you. And she asks Leah, and Leah says she's speechless. And Janae says it was hard. They went through a lot. Her girls cried, and when they cried, she cried. And she knows she didn't have the best track record, but it led her to her Kenny. And Ariana asks them how life's been outside for them. And Janae says it's been fun, and Kenny agrees as he got her to come to Dallas, and they toured Dallas together. And he says she met his mom, which we know she met his mom in New York, and from the panel. So in the panel, he did tell us that Janae met his mom. She came to the hotel that they had in New York, and they had a really good conversation. He was so happy about it. And they are so sweet in person. Can I tell you?
Mm.
So lovey-dovey, so touchy. Like it was so sweet to watch them on that panel. They It's so hard to explain it. It's like one of those couples where they can't help but just like touch each other
Yeah, at the reunion, it seemed like he was holding her hand the whole
the,
time.
the entire time, and they do it unconsciously. It's not something they're doing to be fake or phony. Like you could, like they just are, like they're like magnets. They're just constantly attracted to each other,
That's
right?
good. Mm.
So Ari asks any more news, and Janae says we're pregnant.
Kenny's eyes were
Kenny's
like, what is
like,
going on here? Are we really? Because I'm not sure if I'm ready. Kenny's eyes were like, what?
listen, I would tell you the truth. For her saying it the way she said it, he took it very well, considering. And then he clutched his heart. And then everybody burst into laughter. She's like,
Yeah.
no one gets my jokes, she says.
Baby, you joking about the wrong. This man about to have a heart attack. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So funny. And so Kenny says, no, we're just dating. Don't do that to me. And so we do see a clip after he's asked her to be his girlfriend in Dallas. That was very sweet.
Yes, I was.
And he's excited. He said it's been 6 days.
Oh.
So we do see Coy does speak up and apologize for going on live with Daya and talking about Janae and Kenny's relationship. So we do know he had went live with Daya and said that their relationship wasn't genuine, that
Yeah.
Kenny was not somebody that she would ever date or fall in love with.
Right.
And he says he admits he wasn't really keeping up with the show and only heard about it from the people that that she was with Connor, then Hakeem, and then Kenny. Listen, Kenny's face through that entire apology was like, yeah, keep it clear.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I just thought Kenny's face was funny.
Why didn't we get an apology from Connor?
So Janae did say either during the panel or somewhere else that Connor never apologized to her. No, during the panel she did admit that she got an apology, and me and my friend who was there speculated it was from Coy because she was still just like fuck Connor during the panel. I was like, I don't think she would be saying that if Connor and apologize to her. Connor has no balls. Connor has no balls. So fuck Connor. Fuck Connor forever. I don't send him any hate, but fuck him. I don't like how he messed with her. I don't like how he treated her. I will never. There's nothing that will bring me to liking that man.
Right.
So Ariana asks Leah and Miguel about how they are, and he talks about sneaking into New York. So he did sneak into New York. No one was supposed to know that he was coming to New York. So he came with Kane, I think, and people were asking Kane, "Oh, is that Miguel?" And he's like, "No, that's not Miguel." And then he got on a plane and went to LA to surprise Leah for her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we do know that he worked with Serena to do this. Serena was texting back and forth with him and setting up the restaurant, and had changed his name in her phone to Michelle, she said. Because she was like, Leah was just like all up in whatever she was doing, and she couldn't like hide it from her.
Right.
And Leah does talk about trying to tell Serena she hates surprises. Serena was like, "Well, what was I supposed to do?" She's like, "Baby, well, you gonna hate me because
exactly.
I can't undo any of this." So she told Miguel, if she starts swinging, you gotta take the entire
right.
Because I can't. And so he says he did give her a card and asked her to be his girlfriend. Now, are you surprised that Miguel asked her to be his girlfriend?
Yeah, I never knew that. They had not announced that. So that was a pleasant surprise. So all of PPG are in relationships.
Yes. I have a lot of people who insisted that he was not going to ask her that. I thought that he was going to ask her personally.
I thought he eventually was. I didn't know if it was going to be this early, but I did think eventually they were going to be together, because I could just see that their bond was very genuine, and it was growing stronger and stronger every day. So I did think it was going to happen. I just did not think it had happened already. Like, I thought maybe after the end of this trip, maybe, or, before he went back to London, I was like, oh, he'll probably do it,
So Ari asked, have they exchanged I love yous? And it was like kind of silent. Now,
and I thought to myself, I'm telling you, I know Cordell don't told that woman he loved her.
He told her he loved her on the show.
I was like, he gonna tell that woman he loved her.
This is the thing, though. I will say this. I think people think boyfriend, girlfriend, and they want to say, oh, well, you have to say you love, like, you guys have got to be saying I love you. I will say, when I was with my last boyfriend, I think I told him I loved him after we were together for like a year and change.
Yeah, my last boyfriend I was with for like 6 months, I never told him I loved him, because I didn't. And he told me he loved me. I mean, it takes me a while. I don't automatically think that, but I just thought that he already loved her in the villa, and he was holding off, because he kept telling Kendall, he was like, you got to hold off till you can't hold off no more.
Yeah, but it's the truth. If I feel like it, like, to say it, you need to say it in a moment where you can't hold it in any longer. You just have to say it. And that's what happened. Like, it's unconscious.
Right. And so I thought to myself, by this time, and they're alone, and she didn't want all of that stuff to be on, So I thought by this time, with him, asking her to be the girlfriend, I thought he was just going to tell her, like, like, I just cannot be without you. I love you. And I just, I want us to be official. I want you to be my girlfriend. Will you be my girlfriend? I thought he was just going to tell her. And I'm not saying that he hasn't, because Serena is like me. Sometimes you just going to keep some stuff private. So I'm not saying that it didn't happen, because she's not going to tell all her business. And that's just what it is. So I got a feeling it happened, and they just aren't saying anything.
I was going to say, I think it's possible with Cordell and Serena that it's happened, or he said it and she hasn't, or whatever, and they just are not telling us, right? Like, they're not telling us the ins and outs. So, at the end of the day, I don't feel like it is either normal or abnormal to be saying I love you at this point, or abnormal to not be saying it, even in a boyfriend girlfriend situation. Because as I said, months, and technically they haven't been together for months, right? They've been together for a few weeks, really, outside the villa, because you can't even count the villa really in the dynamic, because it's a totally different dynamic.
Yeah, but I feel like because it's such an intense environment and you around each other so much, the feelings develop at a higher rate and whatever. So yeah, but they're fine. I believe in them. They fine. They good. They good.
Oh yeah, no, they're good. So Miguel does say there is no rush, and Ari agrees. Like, no, I'm not trying to rush you guys. And Leah does say, spare us, queen, please. like Leah's thing is, I agree to be a girlfriend. Like, let me get through therapy and this man, and I'll get there. Let me get there. There. And so she does bring up Leah's Instagram following and what's her thoughts about it. And she said she was surprised that she was as loved as she is, but she's happy that they saw her journey as a human being and loves and accepts her for it. And I know that was a big thing for her. Her and Serena both, to be fair. They went through a lot in there because they thought that they were like very, very hated, right? And so I feel bad that they thought that they were hated because they didn't know how much we loved them.
But to be fair, people were hating on Serena in the beginning. They were. They really were. It was a lot of people who were hating.
Yeah, they were.
So
they were. And Leah, to be fair, too. But she's always been, sort of followed, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ari turns to Kendall and Nicole. So here we go. How are you? Dead air. Ari.
Cricket. Wow. she like me. That's what I be saying when it's nose. I be like crickets. Like
and Nicole says, well, you could take it. And Kendall says, well, obviously it's been a tough situation on the outside, but just, trying to communicate and work on things. Nicole, communicate? Well, Kendall looks at, well, yeah. Nicole, you have not been communicating. You never have been. Kendall, I was just trying to give each other space at one point. Nicole, yeah, after you lied to my face. Okay. So my speculation had been two things. We know that he was revenge porn.
Mm-hmm.
None of us agree with that. So anything that we are discussing really is not tied to that at all, right?
No, because that's wrong. That is wrong. And that's against the law. Okay.
Right. And I do hope he if he knows that person, he presses charges. Hi, CJ. Okay, so separating. Let's say it wasn't about revenge. Mm-hmm. Let's say it was just about anything. Mm-hmm. So separating yourself from that. I personally had thought that because people were like, "Oh, Nicole did something to him," and blah 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 blah, and I was like, I don't know. I studied Kendall through the entire season, and I wouldn't put it past him to have done something to her. Mm-hmm. And not to say we both had our thoughts of them on the show. I'm still very skeptical about what they be throwing around the love word willy-nilly, and I'm just like, do you love him? No, I thought the argument had to do with possibly about them winning or not winning. I thought he blamed her for not saying I love you, which caused them not to win.
Oh, that's what you thought it was over.
Yeah, because they're very, very, very competitive, right?
I thought it was over the video, but I thought he had put the video. I thought it was on a gay site, and she found out. I'm gonna be honest. That's what I thought. I thought it was from like a gay thing or OnlyFans. Like I thought it had something to do with that, and she found out and was like, "Oh no, I'm not with this. I'm not with this bisexual stuff." I thought it was something like that. Like she was like, I always thought it had to do with the video. I never thought it had to do anything with not winning or whatever. I always thought it had to do with the video.
Prochet says this. Prochet says, I thought it was going to be about the girlfriend that came out. That's also a possibility.
Right.
So when this happened, I was like, lie to her face. And it's like everybody's shocked. And she starts crying. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So we come back from break because they take a break, come back. And Ari asks what happened. Kendall starts hyperventilating. Yeah. Like they saying here, full on panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron and Rob are just like
breathe. And Liv is like rubbing his back, like breathe, you know.
And he says he did not tell the truth about the video when it dropped.
He said about something. He still was trying to be evasive. And then Nicole had to take it over. She like, no.
You're right.
He was still trying to be evasive. He's like, I wasn't truthful about something. And Nicole like, no, about the video. You know, she was like.
Because I do have it in my notes. No, Nicole makes it clear that the video is not okay and no one deserves that. But if the person you love, or if you love somebody, you tell them the truth. I should not find out later in the hotel room 2 days later from Janae that was not from someone you trusted, an ex-girlfriend, because that is what he had said. He'd said it on a podcast. He said it a couple of times elsewhere.
Yeah.
That it was not a video you sent to a trusted ex-girlfriend from years ago. It was someone that you sent right before you went on the show on a dating app.
In the hotel. Did you catch that part?
Yeah.
Like you're waiting to go on the show. You staying at the hotel. You know you going on the show. And you still on the dating app sending pictures of your naked butthole. What are we talking about here? Like, I don't blame her. I'm like, and then how does Janae know? And I don't know. I'm done. I'm telling you, I don't like that. I do not like that. I don't like when people lie to me, and I don't like when somebody else has something over me. Like somebody knows something about my man that I don't know. Ooh, that burns me up.
Right. So now what we know is coming out of the villa, Janae has stated that her and Kendall have gotten really, really close. And, you know, she said that in the villa, he was one of her like better male friends, right? And that he gave her a lot of advice. Mm-hmm. We also do know that he did that for the Casa girls. Mm-hmm. But we also know that he didn't necessarily do that for everybody. And I do feel like that is kind of why Serena is able to look at this just a little more objectively.
Exactly. Because she see Kendall for who he is. Right. She's trying not to make a big deal of it. I'm telling you, I feel like I know her Virgo to Virgo. She's trying not to make a big deal out of it because I don't like for my man to tell me about my friends. And I'm not trying to tell him about his friends. That's just how I am because I don't play about my friends. I'm real loyal. And you don't get to come over here and now try to tell me nothing about my friends. They was my friends before I got with you. Don't come over here talking about my friends. And I try to respect my man's friends the same, like my man with his friends the same way. I might got my big eye on Kevin, but if Kevin your friend, long as Kevin ain't doing nothing to me, I ain't gonna say nothing about Kevin. Like, okay, that's Kevin. And I think that's what she tried to be with Kendall. She know how Cordell
Yes.
feel about Kendall,
Yes.
so she tolerate him. But
Yes.
she see like
Yeah.
y'all
So,
all over
so
here.
what we do know with Serena and Kendall, these are facts. Serena does not follow Kendall. Kendall follows Serena, right? She does not interact with him. I've watched numerous interviews. I've read numerous articles. She does not talk about that man. She does not mention it whenever anybody else mentions Kendall or his relationship with Nicole or anything. Serena is mute.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely mute,
Mm-hmm.
including her man.
Mm-hmm.
Including her man.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you, Miss T Joy. I think after everything that he did in the villa, she feels like he's two-faced and messy, and I feel like she don't fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I don't blame her.
Me
Right?
neither.
I think
Me
he did
neither.
too much to her for her. Like at that point that they left the villa, you're not my friend. You're my
Right.
man's friend. Fuck
Right.
you. You're my man's friend. So
Exactly.
that's it, right? And that happens, right? You think that you're friends with a guy in as much as you and your man met a friend at the same time. You think you guys are both friends with this person.
Yeah.
Find out your man's been lying to you the entire time, and this guy's been helping him or encouraging him or all that stuff. And I feel like Serena's just like, you know what? No, it's fine. Kendall is not my friend.
Right. He's Cordell's friend.
He's Cordell's friend. Miguel is my friend.
Right.
Ken is my friend. Rob is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
He is not my friend.
Right.
Hi, Mary.
Hi,
Welcome.
Mary. And I know people think it's weird, but I think it's just a Virgo thing. Like
No,
with her.
I mean, I think it's a human thing. I think because
No, I'm talking about with her and Rob. I think some people think it's weird.
her and
I
Rob.
think it's a Virgo thing, and I think it's just like we understand each other, and so it's just
Yes,
like
I think it's more of an understanding that
right.
they just have.
Right.
So, listen. At the end of the day, I think that of all the people who are sitting there, Serena was mute because
Yes.
I think she sees things a lot more objectively. She's not. I don't want to say everybody else is up to Kendall's, but I think she does feel bad for him. And I do think she thinks he's a genuine person. She just is just like, okay, guys, but like, why are we trying to make Nicole have to deal with this man?
Right. And that was my whole thing. And I didn't appreciate that with Leah because Leah and Liv and they were just trying so hard to be like, but no. No, you don't get to say he lied to me and nobody is trying to. You're all friends with Kendall, so y'all are taking his side. I could see where Nicole was coming from. She felt ganged up on. Y'all are all friends with Kendall. He makes y'all laugh and nasty and all of this, and y'all friends with him. Okay, cool. But y'all are not looking at this objectively. If this happened to you and somebody saying that they supposedly love you and they lying to you, and nobody is still not talking about the fact that he lied to Nicole but told the truth to Janae. Like, if you love me, how is it that you're lying to me but you telling her the truth? So
But you're saying this why? Because Janae's a girl? Because in Janae's place, she's just a friend, right? So
no. I'm saying this about anybody. Don't tell
okay. So I just
somebody
want to
else.
clarify because I don't want it to make it seem like it's you told one girl something, but you didn't tell me.
I'm talking about if he had told Cordell, I
Right.
would still be like, how are you supposed to be so loving in love with me? And you're not telling me the truth, but you're telling Cordell the truth. Cordell is not who you're trying to share the bed with, and Cordell is not your woman. Why are you like anybody? I would feel that way. Why are you lying to me and then going and running and we're finding out at the same time. So you lie to me, and then the next day you go over her house or in her room or wherever and tell her. Like, how does that make sense? It's just because if you embarrassed with me, you should be embarrassed with her. How is it that you just I understood I don't like liars. I understood Nicole and I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
I understood it.
So she says, I was there for you. I haven't spoken up about it because what happened to you was horrible. You didn't deserve that. And I haven't said anything because it's fucking awful, but what you're going through, but you also weren't honest with me about it. And that is my problem. And Kendall says, you're right. I 100% should have been honest with you, Nicole. But in that moment, I wasn't honest. I wasn't ready. My life was turned upside down, and I wanted you to be there. And that's why I said that. I get all of it. I get all of it. I actually get what he's saying. I don't agree with him.
And then I further I overstand her when she like, you going on podcast and still telling that lie. Not only have you told me to lie, right? But you came clean to Janae. You know, I now know the truth that you said a lie, and that's why we beefing. You then go on a podcast and keep furthering the lie. You're not protecting me. Everybody thinking I'm the bad person, but you still perpetrating the lie. And you not coming clean saying you lied to me. You trying to make it seem like you got to give me my space and people have to get adjusted to being on the outside of the villa. And you still going on these podcasts perpetrating the lie. It's all lies, like the candy meme. It's all lies. And you're not coming clean. And you're making me look bad. And I got to keep my mouth closed so that I don't embarrass you or make you. I mean, I would be done. I would, and then you popping bottles in the club. I would be done for, done.
So my whole thing has been, I feel like Kendall's been using all of this as a wall to like, oh, I'm good, everything's good for what he's going through. Nicole is being very, very fair here. I do feel like she is fair in that he had opportunities to tell people the reason why me and Nicole is not good is not because of my video. It's because of actions that I, myself, me, subsequently made post the video.
Thank you. That's all he had to say. And he didn't have to say he lied about the video. He could have just said my actions.
He didn't have to say that. He could tell whatever story that he wanted to. Right. All he had to do is say, when that video came out, I got the messages about the video. I did not react well. And in that case, I hurt the person who was most important to me in that moment, which was Nicole. Nicole is trying to figure out how to work through that. I am trying to work through that and figure out how to make sure that me and Nicole can work through both the situation and my subsequent actions of that situation. Mm-hmm. Right? But that is not what he did.
Nope.
He went around, acted like everything was all good. And then subsequently, because things weren't good with Nicole, regardless of what, because again, like Mary's saying here, I also think this is possible, that Nicole was just looking for a door. Mm-hmm. I think it's possible. I think it's possible. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. I am not taking away from that. What I'm also saying is you need to also then be like, it's not Nicole reacting to the situation at hand, because that is her excuse. Whether it's an excuse or not, that is her excuse, that she's reacting to subsequent behavior rather than the situation at hand. Mm-hmm. Because if he had not lied and she was just like cold, distant, whatever, because of the video, I'm still not saying that she didn't have any rights. But I'm also saying I think you could go through most of this and be like, come on, Nicole, now. Admit that that's the reason, right? But that he subsequently lied. Mm-hmm. And made the situation worse, and then made the situation even more worse by not supporting the fact that he lied. Mm-hmm. She found out he lied. Not he told her, you know what? Because that was my one thing with Janae, and I love Janae. But she was saying, oh, but if Kenny came to me and told me, you know what, that moment that I told you that thing that was wrong, I lied, blah, blah, blah. But that, Janae, that's not what happened, right? He did not come to her subsequently and say, you know what, yesterday when you asked me how that got out, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I fucked up and I lied to you. It really got out because of this. She found out from you because you knew the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's adding not just he lied, but you told somebody else to lie. And again, this has nothing to do with Janae being a girl. This is that you told someone else that the lie was, was not the truth. The truth was this, and that person subsequent, however, either she didn't know that Nicole didn't know the truth, or however it came out, subsequently told me. Now I'm just fully betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just fully betrayed because
Absolutely. And then you're furthering the lie by going on the podcast, and then you out at the clubs doing popping bottles and taking
with
pictures
me
and
on
having
my
private
with
sex.
me on your phone as if you're pining away from me, and I'm being distant and cold and all sorts of stuff.
And then
And
you're not even calling to check up on me. No, sir, please. No, no. And if she was looking for the door, to me, he put a neon sign and showed her where it was, and I would have took it. So as much as I thought Nicole wanted an out, she ain't took it yet because I would have taken the out because I would have been like,
I think she
"Oh
had
no,
every
you
out.
got me
I think
messed
she
up.
had every out.
You got me messed
based
up."
on based on what I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
She had every out. Every
Yeah.
out. So he does say that. Yes, you're right. I was 100% should have been honest with you, Nicole, in that moment. But honestly, I wasn't ready. My life was turned upside down, and I wanted you to be there. And she just said, "I get that, but I stood by you. I stood by you, and you lied to me. But you could tell Janae the truth. Like, so it's kind of like also." Well, what about me made it okay for you to lie to my face? And are you going to continue to do that shit? And so he said, I didn't want to obviously lie to you, Nicole. Nicole says, and then you haven't even had my back through all of this. Like, I've been taking heat for people literally not speaking about it, protecting you. So in her head, it's like, you're going around giving articles and talking to people and saying this, and even to our own friends in the villa, right? He's calling everybody. Nicole's not talking to me because I lied. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And making them feel worse and concerned for him.
Exactly. And
While
who
she's
knows? And Janae could have accidentally told Nicole. And I feel like sometimes her guilt might be also fueling her wanting to hurry up
I
and make this
definitely think
better
that's
and
what it
make this
is.
better. Like, oh
Yeah.
Nicole, what does he need to do? Like, let's make this better.
That's what I think it is for. I don't know about for Leah, but I think on Janae's part, I think Janae feels guilty. I think Janae feels like fuck. Like if I didn't out it in some way, maybe we wouldn't be here,
Right.
right? And so because it does feel like she's going hard trying to help
Yes.
mend this. But she also said that she didn't realize they would get so close post Villa. And I mean, really, he has been with Janae and Kenny.
But just know he wanted you to go home. Just anyway.
Yeah,
I don't think Kendall is a genuine person. So it's very hard for me to
I mean,
believe these things. Like
that's what
I feel like he's an opportunist and he takes on. I agree, CJ. And I think like the moment is PPG. Like that's the moment he knows who the people want, who they fan after, and it's like okay, then I need to make friends with the girls. I know I can't with Serena, but with Leah and Janae, so I can stay popular. I can be invited and stuff. They can still. I mean, it's just that's just what it is. But I just don't believe the act. So it's just kind of like you might have got close to him post that, but he's very deliberate in that. That's not even. I just that's just me. I can't even feel,
right. So he does try to say that he didn't want to go overboard, and I was just like, ooh, guy. So she says, you didn't check up on me until I made a post on Instagram. You didn't tell me what you were doing when you had girls on your Instagram. You only checked up on me when it's like relevant to you. I'm sorry. And Kendall explains, well, he did try to text her. She didn't respond. So when she got home, he gave her space for 2 days. Maybe I was wrong for that. But then he saw the Insta post and he tried to reach out by text. And she's like, well, why are you fucking texting me? Why can't you have a fucking real conversation with me and not lie to me? And Leah's like, well, you're mad at him for texting you. And now you're mad at him because he's not talking to you. Like, how was he supposed to have that conversation
He was
with you?
supposed to call, but y'all
Which,
are children.
yeah, and
Y'all are
that's,
children, and this
yeah.
is generation, and you think texting is equivalent to calling. No, you pick up the phone and you call me and have a real conversation. I'm not about to go back and forth with you over no text message about something so serious. Like,
But he does say that he did try to call her and he FaceTimed her and then he was trying to get her to fly to Sacramento, come
to
fly
Dallas.
to Sacramento to see her or have her fly to him in Dallas because again, we saw Cordell went these boys could not wait a week. So
Mhm.
Kenny and Cordell and Kendall went out together for dinner. And we know that Kendall was like, Kenny was like, he's looking for flights for Janae to come to Dallas. And Cordell was there scrolling the internet looking at old pictures of his girl. And
Because he already had his flight planned
yeah,
out.
like basically already because at first he was like going around telling yeah she's moving so I got like he didn't they did we didn't know she was moving but he was like yeah we're just waiting for her to get herself settled and then I will go back. Next thing we know she gets her apartment, he's there, shows up day one to help her move because he was like bump this, I'm just going to my girl. Okay,
Right.
so again with Kendall, it's like I get it. Like he was probably trying to make plans, but again, I don't. I get where she's saying it wasn't coming off as genuine to her because you weren't in other respects like doing those other caring things to make me think that this wasn't about the TV show.
Exactly.
And so that's what she said. She's like, you didn't bring, you did all those things to bring them up here. I don't feel like they were real.
Hmm.
Um, and Leah says, well, Nicole, that's not being fair. It's not true. Kendall has been going through it. And everybody does agree with her. So that just tells me he was going around to everybody. Woe is me. She won't talk to me. I tried to do this. I tried to do that. What else can I do? Else can I do? And Nicole is like, I'm sorry, guys. Do you know what I've been going through? Um, like, and Kendall says that he needed time to process and he had no one to talk to. He couldn't touch his family. I didn't know what to tell you. And Nicole says, you tell me the truth. You don't make up a story. And Kendall says, I know, of course, I literally have been in this position, never been in this position my entire life, and I saw you and I just physically couldn't. And Kendall says, I know, but Nicole says, well, when you love somebody, which again, I've always doubted him and her on this love thing that they keep throwing out there because it's like things like this, right? It's like, well, when you love somebody, you are going to be put in hard positions all the time and you just have to be honest. And it's like this. Like
Hmm.
Per se says, I get both sides of the argument. Nicole, just say you don't want to be with Kendall and leave it like that. But that's the thing, is that's not what she said. Why?
She's saying she still want to be with him. She just mad about the lying, and she probably also feels like he not making enough grand gestures to be apologizing for the lying. Like you trying to be the victim instead of like owning your part, and like you not doing no grand gestures. You could
Right.
have been sending flowers. Was you sending flowers? You should have been, whether she was answering you or not. You should have been sending her long paragraph text messages if you ain't want to call and say, "Look, I just want to tell you this. You don't have to respond, but let me just tell you this," and keep checking in or whatever. And he wasn't doing that. Instead, he popping bottles at the club, trying to make an appearance fee and trying to capitalize off his fame. That's what was going on.
Yeah. And so Nicole says, you let people talk shit on me about us, and you're not defending me one bit. And he wasn't. He
No, because
never,
he got to be the victim. Because he
because
want to
he
be the
was,
victim.
he wanted to be the victim, and telling people what happened. You have not generally been like, are you okay? And Kendall was literally like, I've been I've been going through things about it. The villa trying to so hard for us, and I hate that happened to us, and it caused a domino effect. And Nicole says, well, that puts me in such a fucked up position because I love you, and people keep questioning that. And Janae says, well, how would you want him to go about proving it and
Then
making
they
it?
need to stay out their business. Just
And
you've done enough. You've done enough. Stay out their
and
business.
because he's reached out to a lot of us individually trying to figure out how to make it right. And Nicole says, I think because he's been going about it publicly, and that happens. I mean, he went on a podcast. He could have been like on the podcast, I lied to Nicole, and we're going through stuff because of his actions. And I, like, we, I stated before. And Kendall's like, okay, yes, I obviously admit that lie was on me. I'm not making excuses about it. The situation um I put I was put in. The last thing I wanted to do was lie to you, and I'm sorry I fell victim to that in that moment. It's a split second. I got my phone back. It was going off. You walked in, and I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't talk to anybody. I didn't know what to say to you. So you lie? Nicole says. Kendall's like, yes, I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know how to talk to you, and I was trying to process what my life was. Nicole says, well, I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that you couldn't be honest with me in that moment. If you love me as much as you say I do, and like I said, I think it's for her as well. It's that, what kind of person do you think I am that you could not tell me the truth, that it was just a fuck up, and that it was an unnecessary thing I did, and it's coming back to haunt me.
Right.
And Liv said, but that was a hard moment, Nikki. And Kendall says, I just wish it was as simple as me being honest. And Nicole does get upset. And Liv says, we're not trying to devalue your feelings. And Nicole says, I know it was a hard moment, but when you love somebody, you just have to be honest. And Liv says, I get it. And Catherine does speak up for Nicole. And she says, like, you're proving her point, though. You guys aren't hearing her out. And Liv says, no, it's not that we're not hearing her out. I think it is them not hearing her out because I don't think she was reaching out to any of them.
Mm-hmm. And Kendall was.
And Kendall was. And Kendall was able to get in front of the story, and Nicole wasn't. Regardless of whether or not I think she is using this as her out, I think Kendall does what Kendall does best, gets in front of the story, gets everybody on his side, and then, it's like, oh, but I did all this, and I did that, and I did this, and I did that. And they're like, oh, he shouldn't be going through this. It's not his fault. He shouldn't be going through this. It isn't his fault. But he also fucked up.
And he thought he was going to get through it without us really knowing he had lied to her. Because he was trying to tiptoe around it. Because he still wanted to paint himself a certain way. And it was like, when she was like, no, forget this. This is what happened. He was like, yeah, it's out. It's out now.
As it says, I'm not a Kendall fan, but Nicole is missing the point. Kendall had a private video leaked, and she doesn't seem to have a shred of sympathy for how he reacted badly to an impossibly horrible situation. I mean,
no, I think Nicole is getting the point, and she was
she said that she understands he should not have had to go through that. The video is foul,
and getting the point that two things can be true at once.
But two things can be true. He fucked up, and what was done to him was fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah. Mary says, I agree. This makes me see Nicole in a different light. So we do see Janae tries to explain the position Kendall was in. Either you tell the truth, or you embarrassed and you lied to the person closest to you. And Nicole says, but what if it was you and Kenny, and what if he lied? And again, I explained, Janae saying, well, I would hear him out. We know Janae would hear him out. We know she would give him the opportunity to make things right. And again, Janae is just a different person. But
right, absolutely.
She, like, we absolutely know that's what she would do. We
Absolutely.
absolutely know that that's what she would do.
Right.
Especially if he communicated through to her, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and Nicole
I'm
says,
ready. I'm ready. I'm over it. All right.
yeah. And Nicole's like, I just don't think it's fair for women to be lied to. But I noticed she also said there were other things. That's like, it's not just this thing, but we never got what the other things were.
He is a disingenuous person. I think that he's been lying the whole time. His whole him on there was a whole facade. Like the whole thing. Like I know he's a liar. I could tell he was a liar. He was pretending to be something he wasn't. He tries to laugh and be the life of the party, and he really isn't. He's just not genuine. And I'm sure he's lied about other things. And that woman talking about she was his girlfriend, it's probably some validity. Why are you going on a dating show? See, that's another thing. People keep trying to, two things can be true at once. He is the victim of that, but people keep missing over the point. You're at the hotel literally because you're about to go on the island in Fiji and be on a whole reality dating show. Why are you on the dating apps in the hotel posting videos? Does nobody want to talk about that? So you're already letting me know you're not serious. You're not even going up here to be serious because why aren't you concentrating and just manifesting? I'm about to meet the love of my life here. Like, why would I be on dating apps? It's all crazy. It's just all crazy. It's
Ozza points out that Kendall could have been suicidal from the embarrassment of the experience. Hospitalizing, Nicole would have said yes. He went through things and is
you
mentally.
don't know that. That is not even fair to say
And
that.
I'm gonna say
I
this,
am a therapist, and that is not fair to say that because we have not seen anything about him being suicidal, and
right?
you don't know how she will react to that. Please do not do that. That is not fair. She is entitled to
Right,
have her feelings about the situation, and do not make it seem like if his life was in danger, that she would not have any empathy for him. That is just not even fair. That's not
right,
fair.
right. I'm going to say this. Do I think it's possible that Kendall was suicidal? Absolutely. Right. And people have suicidal thoughts every day, right? And in a situation like this, you don't know what to do, and you don't know how to react, and you don't know if it just ruined your entire world. And I do feel like the Islanders have been trying to hold his hand and be there for him and all that stuff, to get him through whatever he's going through, whatever he's feeling, however it the situation is at hand, right? That does not excuse his behavior towards the person he claims to love, whether or not she's a girlfriend or not. And that does not discount her feelings towards him saying, oh, this happened when it really didn't happen, when it happened a different way. And at the end of the day, Nicole is entitled to her feelings separately from Kendall is entitled to feeling whatever way he felt about the situation that happened to him. Whatever the, like,
Right.
however.
If you hit me, right? If you hit me, you can't tell me that I can't be mad because you hit me because Tamika hit you.
Correct.
Right? Like you could be the victim of Tamika hitting you, but I'm now the victim of you hitting me.
Correct.
Like both things can be true. Like you're entitled to be the victim in that situation, but the situation with me and you are the aggressor and I am the victim. So these both of these things can be true. So
Right.
he
And
had
that
that
happens.
horrible thing
That happens
happen to him.
every day. People go to, men and women go to work and get abused at work and come home and take that abuse out on their loved ones. That does not give them the right to do that,
Yes,
right?
I mean it's just
So I mean, I do think, we'll get into the bullying situations a little bit later, but I do think that people are discounting feelings, whether or not, listen, I've been very clear that I think that it's possible Nicole did not like Kendall as much as she says she does. I don't think Kendall liked
Like
Nicole.
her as much as he. Exactly. I think they
I
both
don't
was
think,
acting.
I think they're both possibly the type of people that were looking for fame and wanted to win, and it's possible that they both were like that.
Exactly.
Separately, something in real life did happen to them,
Right.
right? And whether this is her way of taking it out or not, I do feel like she's valid in what she's saying. I
Yeah.
do have to say that.
Yeah.
And I do feel like he's valid in feeling like it was an embarrassing moment. I did not know what to do and I fucked up. But I don't know if he handled this properly in order for me to say that Nicole should just forgive him.
Right.
Right. And that's the point. And Mary saying both Nicole and Kendall want a moment. Kendall could ask the producers not to discuss the video and keep it to the thing that happened on the island. But I'm telling you, because he eroded the moment, it bled onto um their relationship that was translated from the villa. So Rob does say though to Nicole, she has every right to be upset. But I think I can speak for everyone here because I think she was at this point questioning his genuineness. I think that everyone here knows that he speaks to us about you and he wants to make things right. And Nicole says, I know that he loves me. I love him. I've been talking to him about everybody in my life. I don't doubt his feelings for me. But when you come out here and you're not honest with me, and all I asked you to do was be honest, of course I'm not going to trust you. And Rob says that's fair. And that's something you could work towards. And Miguel speaks up as well and says, we know how much you care for each other, but coming out of the situation is going to be hard. And the thing is, Rob knows because also Rob had a very similar situation happen to him when he came out of the villa, right? So, but Miguel also says that, the situation hard to get your words across. You have every right to react, but he also he does care about you. And Nicole says, but I haven't been reacting. For 3 weeks, I've been taking a lot of hate, which I'm sure no one's looking at. A lot of hate because of his actions. And Danielle says, and you've been radio silent and you haven't talked about it. Well, I feel like Kendall's gone on and it looks like he's living his best life on social media, and which is great for you. But I feel like she's been going through it and she's been sitting in silence. And a lot of us women know how it feels to sit in something in silence and not say anything because we're protecting somebody or we're afraid of the reaction of it, right? And Nicole said, yeah, nobody knows. And Danielle says, and then you just like see like, oh, you don't actually care about our relationship. And Leah's like, yeah, but I don't want, like, we shouldn't let them play tit for tat. And Nicole says, but it's not okay to lie to women's faces. And we know she's had issues prior to this with other relationships. Same as Serena. My last recap here, I came and I said, listen, Kendall sat there and screwed with Serena so badly and kept saying all these things about her when at the end of the day, he actually was with a Serena. She just was more physical. And so kind of like here, she's drawing that line that Serena did. And again, we could sit there and say she wasn't that into him. And again, even if that's the case, she allowed the door to be open for her to walk through it. And yet she's still not. But we will talk about that. Kayla says, but if you love each other, you will get through this. And Janae says, Nicole, what would it take for you to be able to trust him? And Nicole says, I haven't ended things. We're still together. So for everybody, even though you let the world think we're not together, we're still together. And I will say this. He has not let the world think that they're not together. He literally has told the world they're still together. We're all like, y'all ain't together. She don't fuck with you. Right? What we did not understand is why she was being distant the way she was being distant. We just thought it was other reasons, lots of other reasons, right? We're talking about some of these reasons here. And what she's saying is, you portrayed it that I and you are not together because you wouldn't tell people that you fucked up and lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
And made them think it was that I just dumped you because of what happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or I never was into you, or I was playing a game, or all this stuff. And she's right.
Yeah.
She's right. So Cordell just tried to let her know that that's not the case. He never let the world think that they weren't together. And Cordell says, like,
yeah, I gotta go at 3.
They just have to get through this situation together, however they decide to work on it. And Kendall says, all I want to do is mend the lie. I should have went on social media and said I lied to Nicole and she just needs time, and I started it and there's nothing. You're right. And then Ari just finally asked, do you want to be with Kendall? And Nicole says, that's all I ever wanted. And I was shocked. I thought it was going to be a no.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicole says, well, Ari says, well, you feel the trust is broken. Do you feel like the relationship that you want to continue to pursue? She's like, I think there's a lot of conversations we have to have, and I don't take this lightly. And Ari says, okay, well, if you want to be together or not be together. And then Serena's like laughing, and she's like, Serena, why are you laughing? And Serena says, she's like, do you feel awkward? And she's like, well, maybe that's it, because I too do not like men who lie to me. And it's a deal breaker for me. So personally, I would just come out and say, you lied and it's done, it's over. And I do think Kendall loves her, and I do think she loves him, but I think they just need to work on it without hella outside opinions, without the internet, without social media, without any of this. And like, if she decides, hey, I don't want to be with that man who lied to me, it's her decision. And I think she should not be ridiculed for that as well. And Ari says, absolutely. And Serena says, but I do also think that I would drop a man for lying to me. But I also believe in second chances. And she points to Cordell. She says, so if my sis decides to choose to move on with that, like, I also will back that. And Ari says, I think that's kind of what we're all saying. And I said, I don't think that's what everybody was saying.
Thank you.
I just want to point that out. That's what Serena was saying, but I feel like Serena's the only one who was objecting.
Yeah.
In person in the room, right? And so she's like, we will support either decision that either of you make. And Serena says, love you, Nikki. And Nicole says, love you. And we take a break, and Nicole walks out. And I just want everybody to understand, whatever the out is, Nicole has it. And I can't sit there and be like, oh, Kendall, he's the victim in this. He kind of took his victimhood and tossed it out the window. And Nicole does have an out here. And so we'll see what happens. But Kenny gives Kendall some encouraging words about, owning his mistake and letting the ball be in Nicole's court. I mean, he had no choice. She basically, Nicole did do her big one. She stood on business, and she basically like, you're not going to put this on me any longer. So I hope if she had anything tied to that she was keeping this secret, that it is finally weight lifted off of her, and she can either move on or keep going with this guy or whatever. So Ari asks Rob about his multiple love triangles, and he does say he was a dumbass, and he was really emotional the night of the Andrea vote, and it was a lot of stuff tied to Leah, and it was triggering, and he was just dumb. And she said, and he regrets the pain that he caused, and he should, things that he did say. But he thinks ultimately, he did say this in another interview, that he ultimately thinks everything happened the way it was supposed to. The relationships that got built and subsequent happened, and that was the best way he could look at it. And so she does ask about Rob and Andrea being there for the first time since the villain. Andrea says, yup. And people are like, aren't you upset that he didn't leave with you? And she was like, well, I was already like emotional about everything. And I just left. I didn't understand why I was sent home. And I just acted out of emotion. And Leah says, but you said in After Sun that I act out of emotions and you would never do that. So the fact that you're saying this now is wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hypocritical. And so Janae, if you did not know, Janae watched a few episodes and she came with her notes.
Her 4 pages of notes. Yes.
Yes. And she takes out her notes and she said, listen, you called her two-faced in After Sun. Leah said, yeah, and I never talk shit on you. And Janae says, you could apologize now, but you said you saying somebody is two-faced was rude. And Leah says, I thought I was good with you in the villa. We had a good relationship. Did I talk shit about Rob? Yes. Did I do it to your face? No. Where if you were in the dressing room when it happened, my bad. How would you feel if that shit happened to you? And she's like, so then when I came out and saw that you had said all and did all these things, like I felt like an idiot. I was liking your post and people started tagging me in the shit that you were saying about me, and I felt so stupid. And Andrea says, I think I just got on with all of you, but like I came out and I got called a mean girl. And Liv's like, well, watching it back, don't you think that you made a lot of nasty comments to
Right.
be a mean girl? And Leah's like, talking to Miguel. I mean, and she's like, Leah was talking to Miguel, and you were like, and she was like, oh well, I'm single in the villa, and you were like, you're welcome. And then saying that Hannah never worked out a day in the villa.
Mm-hmm.
Ari asked Hannah, how did you feel that comment? Now we know that Hannah and Andrea have been hanging out, clearly friends.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when she says what she says next, which is that she and Andrea talked often and that she didn't feel slighted in towards it at all. She knows everybody knows she was just there to eat snacks and she wanted reposado. And so I think she was taking up for her. Hannah, I need you to know. What she said was uncalled for. And so Ari just asked Rob his thoughts, and Rob says, "Well, she portrayed herself differently in the villa than he came out to about 100 TikTok lives." Now, he did say in the interview today that we watched that he was not aware that Andrea was like that at all in the villa. And Janae and Serena also were in the interview, and they said, "So you didn't hear her talk about like social media?" Her having a following. He's like, no. She's like, you didn't hear her talk to you, like talk about like being an influencer. It's like, no. She's like, Janae and Serena's like, that's all she talked about to us. And we hear it here. They say that she was talking about how, getting
Brand deals and stuff like
brand
that.
deals and getting club tables and all that stuff, which is why they felt like she wasn't there for something genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he didn't know that. And Andrea said, yeah, but I just came out to so much hate, and I felt like to speak on it, and she does apologize to Leah, and she said she was hurt by the process. It was hard for people to think that, and it was also hard for people to think that it wasn't genuine between her and Rob, but it wasn't genuine between you and Rob.
It was only 4 days.
Yeah. And so Ari said, do you understand why the girls chose to send you home? And Andrea says, 100% they chose Janae because they're friends with her. I was like, you don't understand that because that's not fucking why. And again, I need people to stop perpetrating this lie.
But it wasn't just between you and Janae. Do you know why they picked you over Nicole?
Janae wasn't a choice. Janae wasn't a choice because she did not have a chance in the villa to find someone. So Janae, it was not between you and Janae. Janae was never a choice. It was between you and Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Denise says, I wish other girls would have let Leah handle Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the reason why Janae spoke up particularly is Janae went and watched the show. Leah and Serena refused to watch the show. They do not they don't want to. You heard later that Serena said she's over the whole Casa Amor thing. She doesn't even, she's blocked it out. Like it's traumatic for her. It's traumatic
Mhm.
for them. Leah went through a lot of stuff, and it's traumatic for her, and she just does not want to watch the show back. This
Mhm.
particular incident, she had been asking the producers to show that video of them making the Andrea vote in the villa 40 times. She's like, even during movie night.
Yeah.
And they refused.
Right.
So like this whole thing, like that is why Janae was speaking up for her.
Mhm.
Prisha says Andrea was lying the whole time. I need to stop giving her. I felt like she was not telling the truth. And again, Livs and Leah are both like, that was not the reason. It wasn't the reason.
And
And
she's never gonna get it. It's like you can't try to explain yourself to somebody who is determined to misunderstand you. It's just like let it go. She's never gonna get it.
yeah.
And if you after watching that whole video, they showed the whole thing and you still don't get it, you don't want to get it. You don't want to get it.
Yeah. So Ari says, okay, Andrea is trying to apologize. Where do we go from here? And Janae said, just keep Leah's name out your mouth. Boom, done. That's it. Ari, next question. I love her.
I love her too.
Ari says, we need to move forward, but moving back to the back seat and live. And I knew they were going to do this. And I was like, these girls are not going to talk about that backseat comment. They're just not. And Liv says, backseat is the eye of beholder. Leah, backseat is the eye of the beholder. Liv, I take the fifth. Is that the one where you don't want to talk about it? Leah says, y'all can dead the backseat right here. I did it. Fuck it. Believe it. Ari says, define backseat. Leah says, what I did to Andrea. Liv, she did it. I was the driver. Kaylor, and I was in the passenger seat. And Liv says, Janae had directions. Kaylor and Serena was changing
Serena
the
was
tire
on the music. Serena was in charge of the music.
and then Liv says, yeah, Serena would change the music. And they went to break. I knew that those girls were never going to talk about that whole thing again. I think they haven't
They had
understood
deaded it. Like, we're friends. Y'all are not about to divide us over this daggone conversation
They
anymore.
did it at movie night. They did it before that.
Right. We're good.
They weren't going to do that. And I've been saying it for weeks. I said, if you think that bringing this up is going to get you there, not going to get you there. And I was concerned. They put out an essential list of 10 episodes that you have to watch in order to prepare for the reunion. And it was a whole lot of Andrea. It was a whole lot of Rob. It was a whole lot of this bullshit situation. And I was just like, over it. Dead this situation.
It was interesting to see the whole thing happen, though. It was.
Yes, that part was. We just didn't need that whole backseat
right
bullshit. So the boys hope that they can move forward. Liv asks to take off her shoes. So then she shows a video about bombshells and Casa and just like more video. More. So she asked Harrison about coming as a bombshell. He said he just came in, had fun. Nicole was nervous. Points out she kissed Cordell, which was hilarious. Connor, she also nervous, but like the high five Ari gave him. Talks to Kenny about Kat coming back from Casa Amor. And he said, yeah, he's like, I was thinking about Janae the whole time. And then I talked to Kat and I brought her back. And then it was like standing at the fire pit was like court. And Ari asked Cassie, like, oh, you came in and then you left with Rob after an intimate time. Where do you guys stand? And she's like, friends. And she's like, oh, that's it.
TikToks and catching up, but we're friends.
Right. She's like, yeah, we chat and send each other TikToks, but that's it. And Catherine is asked about her experiences. She agrees that, like, in the outside world, she would never go after someone's man and fighting over a guy. And Sierra agrees, and she just feels like her and Kenny had really good conversations, and they have a lot of core values. We found out, I don't know if you know, they are both Dominican.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, they just have a lot of commonalities, right? And so, when he brought me back and he realized it was Janae, like I did my job as a as a casa girl, right? So I didn't find
She
love,
looks
but I had a
pretty at
great.
the reunion too. I like that look for her. She
Yeah,
looks
she
pretty.
did. I didn't like her dress, but I liked her look. She had a great time, found amazing friends I'm really close to in the last couple of weeks. I had a good time. Sierra agrees again. Liv says it was hard coming in as a bombshell, and she takes her hats off to the Casa girls because she also had to go day one, uh, upend everybody's experience and just choose one of the men and leave one of the girls vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And Daya says, "Well, not trying to downplay your experience." And Liv says, "I know you're not." And Daya says, "It's just all hard, and we absolutely understand it was hard for the OG girls to see us walk in with their men, but we all wanted the same experience." She says that the social media was a lot coming out of the villa. Everyone on the couch has to realize that reposting, making comments, or when somebody's in the background talking shit about what you have to realize is how it affects other people sitting on this couch. And whether you like it or not, if someone says the smallest thing and you're just co-signing to your followers to go to that other person and drag them, and it's not okay. And she's like, I just want to make this clear. This is not on you, Serena, because I know you. I don't think you have said anything. And Serena says, no, I agree with all the bullying. I think all of it is extremely mean, and I don't co-sign any of it. And I do think that we did build a friendship in the villa, and like I really liked you, and you're a cool girl. And honestly, the whole Casa thing, I'm over it. Like I'm disassociating myself, and I don't want to think about it. I don't want to look at it, and I don't want to talk about it. And people are in my DMs and swarming, like literally, like ignore. And Daya says, like, yeah, I sent you messages to say congratulations and winning, and I'm generally happy for you guys. I said that at the recoupling leaving, I'm ready to go, but I'm happy that you all are cool, and I stand on that. And Serena says, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for not going on podcasts and saying a bunch of shit or putting us on blast. And Zaya says, yeah, same with you. You didn't go there and do the
Sydney,
most.
Sydney, people
Yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah. She
Mhm.
needed to hear that. I hope she hears that. And yeah, yeah. And Serena says, yeah, we're good, babe. And then Ari addresses the social media to be kind. And Leah says, gives a PSA to her followers about her friends and her fellow. She's like, me and Liv are friends. Like, and it's like, I see it every day on Twitter and all this stuff. People still talking about Janae and those fucking eggs and Serena's reaction to the eggs and they're sending her messages trying to tell her Serena is not her friend about some fucking eggs that they talked about in the villa and we watched them.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Watch them, get over it. And so Janae has even said, like, and then talking about the Connor situation about Leah. Now, I had an issue with the Connor situation with Leah, right? But according to what I've read and what Leah and Janae and Serena have said, her like Janae and Leah got through that situation and it made them stronger as friends, right? And they both agree that Connor's weird and a fucking idiot. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it basically it did its job for Janae because then she was able to meet Kenny,
Right.
right? And Leah don't want that
And
man.
Leah didn't want him.
Yeah,
As soon as he came over there, she was like, "Ew, ew."
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
how did I do that? Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like y'all are sending them messages trying to trying to tear PPG apart. If Serena's with Leah, y'all are sitting there. Janae, y'all are leaving out Janae, not knowing a whole ass article came out where they were all shopping, but y'all only saw Leah and Serena shopping on social media and swore y'all fucking knew what y'all were talking about, trying to say that they were leaving Janae out and trying to say that Serena is not her friend. And you only do it when Serena is with Leah. Y'all never do it when Janae is with Leah. Y'all never do it when Serena is with Janae. It's bullshit. And y'all need to get out of these girls' DMs.
People have separate lives. Sometimes you want to be with the girls, and sometimes you want to be with your man. So even if she wasn't shopping with them, she might want to just be with Kenny because Kenny got a regular job that he be going back to. So
Correct.
maybe she wants to spend extra time with Kenny because Kenny got to go back and go to work, and the rest of them don't do that. Like, so leave them alone. Like, and sometimes Cordell can be somewhere without Serena. Like, he can be on the panel and Serena not be on the panel. Like, he's a big boy. He's been living his whole life without her. You know, I mean, so I'm glad they found each other. But people know how to walk one leg in front of the other. And one, I like brush their teeth and chew gum and not be with their mate all the time. Like, people, it's these teenagers. It's these
Yes.
teenagers. Grown people know that.
No, I
Grown
mean,
people know that.
I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that because I've seen some grown ass women,
Really?
you and my age, say absolute bullshit because that woman that said
Yeah.
that shit about
That
to
was
Serena,
rude. That was
that
so rude.
that was a grown ass woman that did that bullshit. That was not no teenager. So yes. So all of that to say, stop the bullshit. I told you guys this during the season. Stay out of these girls' DMs. And the one thing I had, because Serena came and clapped back on Twitter, and she and her man clapped back on their Instagram, and I said this: you guys think this is season 2 and season 3, and y'all let that shit work. Those Islanders let that shit work in season 2. Y'all tore Celine apart, right? Tore Selly and Justine apart. Tore Caleb and Justine apart. I mean, that there
Well,
was
he
other
had
yeah,
yeah.
there was other pieces to that situation. But also, I watch y'all do that to Cash and Cinco. I
Yeah.
watch y'all do that to other people. Fuck y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Stop doing that shit. And I'm very glad that these people are letting you know you can't do that shit to them because they
No,
will
you
clap
can't.
back.
You can't. I mean, Cordell and Serena not together one day. They don't broke up. They don't broke up. They
It
broke
wasn't
up.
even one day. It was a couple of hours. Literally, they went to dinner at like 12, and then at like 2 a.m. they posted being out, like Nigel posted them in the hallway 3 a.m. Being in the hallway, like hanging out, and then the next morning she does not go to the Empire State Building. She goes to shopping with Leah, and they're freaking out that she and Cordell are done. What? Sometimes you want to just go shopping. You don't want to go to the Empire State Building. Please, guys, stop being ridiculous. So now we get to Kaylor and Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
and I am proud of Kaylor.
Yeah, me too.
So Aaron tries to start because Ari said, "How's life been, Isabella?" Aaron, oh, not good. He then tries to start like, okay, I admit now that I didn't tell Kaylor all the truth about what happened with me and Daniela. She's like, what? She's like, so why didn't you admit this 2 days ago when we were in our hotel room? Why are you taking accountability here? Why do you keep lying to me? You've been with me for the last 3 days in New York and you're just now saying this now? You never said that. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, stop fucking love bombing me. I don't understand why I wasted my entire fucking summer on you, Aaron. I don't want anything to do with you. I never want to speak to you again. You are disgusting. I do not deserve that. I walked into this villa so fucking confident and you beat me down, beat me down, beat me down, and I left
He
a
sure did.
different fucking girl. It's not cool and it's not fun. I will say this: when I went to that panel on Friday, and Kaylor was just like, "Guys, I'm single and fuck Aaron," and I was like, "Oh my god, that girl who walked in the villa hand in hand with Serena, she is back. She's back and vibrant, and she like he sucked the life out of that girl."
He
He
did.
sucked the life out of her.
That's what
And
they do. They isolate you. They break you down.
yes,
It's gaslighting. Oh.
And I said, like, if you Serena and Kaylor walked in hand, and to be fair, they had very, very similar journeys in this villa. If you watch it, it's really very parallel. They coupled up with someone first date, and that's pretty much that was their connection most of the entire time. They never coupled up with anybody else till the end of the show. And the person did very similar things with somebody else in the same situation, Casa or more. And it was really just how that person handled it. And also prior to that, like we were talking about before, Aaron was sitting there anytime she was exploring connections, he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And was rolling on her. And she, on the other hand, when Cordell, was going through with Serena, he would, there's moments where he doubted himself, but he also allowed her journey. So very parallel if you want to see somebody who did it correctly and somebody who did not.
Right, absolutely.
And so people keep trying to say that Cordell and Serena are struggle love. They are not struggle love. Kaylor and Aaron are struggle love. So Serena says, "Queen girl pussy."
Why she eating popcorn? Why they over there eating popcorn?
Popcorn and cotton candy. Serena said she came to this show to stand 10 toes behind her girls, and that is exactly what she did this entire episode. And she when she said it, she meant it. Serena is the ultimate goals girl, right?
Yes.
And anybody who thinks differently, I don't know what show you watched. Sierra said, "I like this side of her." Serena said, "That was beautiful, Kaylor." And Kaylor's like, "Leave me alone. You do not deserve me." Aaron, "I don't deserve you." And this is the thing. This is what they will do. They will say this. They will agree with you. But meanwhile, the entire time, they're still like trying to send subliminals and love bombing
and
you.
And now they're trying to guilt trip you. I lost my granddaddy and you on there and you did.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm shaky. Can't switch seats." And Liv says, "Yes." And so she's like, "What up, mofo?" And Serena's laughing. And Kaylor's like, "Ariana, we had multiple calls and chats. I was with him night one in New York. So why didn't he tell me?" And Aaron says, "I didn't have the balls at the end of the day." Liv, "Oh, cut the shit." Aaron, "I didn't." Kaylor, "Fuck you, Aaron." Leah, "Oh, please, you didn't have the balls?" Liv, "You didn't have the balls for 2 months, so when are they gonna drop?"
Girl, when she said that, I holler. When she said that, I holler.
I love Liv. Daniela apologizes again, and as we said before, Kaylor does kind of say it's not your fault. She loves her. It's not her fault. And, again, same age. They're both 21, 22. This man is like 28. They both were manipulated in the same manner. The same manner.
Yeah.
Daniela did this to protect Aaron because she did not want him to lose his relationship, and she felt guilty that in some way it was her fault that he did what he did towards Kaylor. And it wasn't. It was his fault.
Absolutely.
Rob says he's doing the best he can. He tries to take up for him, but he says he's not a horrible person, just an idiot. I was like, great job, Rob. Good job.
Rob, I gotta say something. Rob, I gotta say something.
That man protected me the entire time. I gotta say something. Ari says, "But you guys came out. You seem so close. What happened?" Kayla says, "We were in LA and I came home and then I watched the show, and specifically the most important parts for me, which was Casa Amor, episode 6. She's like, I kissed Hakeem in a fucking challenge and Aaron lost his shit. I feel like in the villa, I was kind of just like in my own la la land, and I was really emotional, and I didn't clock myself. Like I didn't have my support system. But actually, after watching Casa, Aaron was going through it, and I still texted him and talked to him. Aaron said, "No, you didn't. It's not true. My grandfather died the morning of BFF, so you still went on there and shot at me." And Liv says, "So now you understand how she feels, like how she felt the entire summer when you weren't there for her." Kayla's like, "Then I can't tell you how I feel." Aaron's like, I genuinely felt bad. I didn't tell you. And Aaron's like, oh fuck. Sorry. It won't let me scroll. Oh damn it. Did I lose you? Okay. There we go.
I'm here.
Okay. Aaron says, I generally feel bad I didn't tell you. Aaron I just didn't want to lose you after my grandfather died and we were in New York. I didn't want to mess it up. Ari says, well, one of the most asked questions we were asked was why we didn't show the fire pit scene. So we're going to show it. And Serena says, I don't want to watch. And they showed a 6 camera angle of the conversation of Andrea's dumping.
Yeah.
And it was like, Janae was never an option. Andrea was basically sent home because she was so closed off. That's it. Yeah. That's all. That's it. There was nothing to it. I liked seeing it. I'm not saying I hated seeing it. I actually liked seeing
Me too.
The whole like this is as if we had live feeds. I loved seeing that.
Me too. Talking to the producer, everything. They really were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it was a very hard decision for them. They did not want to send anybody home. They had to. And so it was what it was.
Yeah. Last minute, they were just like, okay, we just got to stick to a decision.
Right.
And we saw them vote. But even after they voted that vote, they still were going back and forth.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It was, yeah.
So Leah says, listen, I didn't want to send anybody home. We didn't want to send anybody home. She's like, and if I wanted Andrea to go home, I would have said that shit. I said whatever I want to anyway. She's like, I would have had no issue staying it. Liv and Kaylor apologizes for not backing up Leah when Rob and Aaron were coming to them and basically like telling them that Leah was saying certain things that we know she kind of really wasn't.
Right.
But they were taking their word for gospel. And Janae confronts Aaron for talking shit about the girl's decision and says, do you want to apologize now after seeing that? For saying they were dumbasses for not sending Janae home. And he's like, he does. And Leah says, well, what was all of that going around the villa having a vendetta against me? Aaron, I didn't do that. We fucking know he did do that.
Right. You were telling people stuff about me. Stop lying. You know.
Right. And she's like, you cared the most out of anybody. So were you just being a gossiper or a bitch?
Yeah, he was being robbed.
Bitch. Yeah. Rob says, I don't think he was trying to be malicious. Okay. Rob, you're not helping. But Liv confronts him about him saying certain words to them in their conversation. And they do kind of go back and forth. And Rob says, well, at the time, I still liked Leah and I wanted clarity because I could not move forward if I thought that she maliciously did something like that. And Liv's like, listen, I didn't want Rob back. I knew that he would hate me. And this is true. She did not say that she wanted Rob. Everybody else was like that she wanted Rob. I do think that she had emotional feelings tied to Rob. But I don't think that she wanted specifically him to come back to her.
Yeah, I don't think so either because she even thought like her voting the girl out was going to push him away. They were like, this going to push him away. And she like, yeah.
Yeah. And she was trying to tell them that. They're the ones who were hanging their hopes that Rob maybe would reconnect with her. I don't think she ever felt that way. But she said, I knew that he would hate me and I didn't want to send Andrea out. And so now Ari asks about retiring his overalls. Rob says no. And Ariana asks about Serena if she was tired of getting avocado toast. Serena says, I'll never get tired of that. And my man wasn't just making me avocado toast. He was making me everything, omelets, pancakes, French toast. And Ariana said, Chef Cordell. She's like, that's right.
Put some respect on my man.
Miguel says, my breakfast wasn't shown. And I said, yeah, the morning of Casa, you made a great breakfast. I came in and saw it. So they talk about the friendships. Carter says, Cordell and Rob went to catch snakes.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's some jokes in there somewhere. Ari, the friendships have been great. And Janae, what are your takeaways? And Janae says, always be a girl's girl, always stand on business, and always take risks. And then Ari asks Kendall, can he hear it? And he says, we're getting nasty. And Ari says, thank you for being here. Love Island USA will be back next summer. So we know that I believe it's renewed for 2 more seasons, 7, 8. And that Love Island Games will be back for season 2 in 2025.
And it seemed like some of them, it was their first time hearing that Love Island Games was coming.
Yes.
Some of their mouths were like,
oh,
I'm like, oh yeah, I know some of y'all want to be on there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was the reunion. Yeah. And I personally, I feel like the reunion was what I expected it to be. Kayla stood on business, a couple of confrontations, but I knew we weren't getting, I think, what many of us were looking for us to get, unfortunately.
I don't know. I felt like I was going to get a little more. I just feel like we didn't address like some things, like we didn't discuss like how Cassie and Rob got to that point. We didn't discuss if Rob wanted to get back with Andrea, if he's seeing somebody. We didn't discuss if Harrison and Sierra was together still. We didn't ask Hannah if she was dating
Josiah.
You know, it was just like certain stuff I still wanted to know, but I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to catch up on his social media. So if you have missed it, listen, the girls have been booked and busy. Serena and Janae are signed with the 4th largest talent agency in the world, not the country, the world. Serena is repped by Essence. Yes, Essence Magazine. Her manager works through there. And she just put out an ad today that she and Sacred are partnering. So that's exciting.
Who?
Sacred, Beyonce's hair care line.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And Cordell did an ad today for Pattern, which is Tracy Ellis
Ross. Yeah, I saw that.
And
that did wonders on his hair.
Yes. His hair for the reunion looks good.
Yeah.
So we do see that, guys, they're booked and busy, and with them getting 2 separate hair care deals, they're not really tying their brands together, which I love. And not because I think something was going to happen with them, but that's just more money for them in their pocket, guys. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the cheeses.
And
they were on Teen Vogue. PPG was in Teen Vogue, right? That was released.
Yeah. Shay says that they have a Keke Palmer interview coming out today. Yes.
Oh yeah, I did see the preview for that. Yeah.
So in New York, I do think we're gonna get a PPG reality TV show, guys. We have been following them. I think we're gonna back end into it. I think that they're in negotiations. If you have not seen, they have a I think a Glamour magazine interview out that was really good. It really showcases all 3 girls, and they are hella funny in it.
Yes.
They did a Hot Ones that was cute. I
want to see that. I saw a preview of it or something, but I didn't really see the whole thing where they were eating those hot wings and stuff.
Yeah, if you go on my Twitter and on my Instagram, I've tried to share some things that I've found. And yeah, guys, listen, just follow them on their social media platforms. We know that Janae, Leah, and Serena have all gotten over 1 million on Instagram. Cordell is still not there. I think he should probably be at 900,000 right now. because I
He's
was
got 1 million on TikTok, right? But
he
not on
has 1 million on TikTok now, but Janae only has 9 something on TikTok. It's the oddest thing. So listen, we need to get them, like, get us going. Yeah, so he just hit 912. So
Okay.
he's almost at 1 million, but let us get Cordell to 1 million on
I think
Instagram.
with this cheese, I think within a couple days he could probably
Yeah.
get to 1 million. That'll
And
be so nice. I
and
hope
then
they
Serena,
do.
Janae, let us get her to 1 million on TikTok. She does really good TikTok. She did a YouTube video as well.
I
Um,
watched that, the behind the scenes.
the behind the scenes, yeah. So she's at 984 .8 on TikTok. So make sure if you are not following her, she does really good, like, behind the scenes vlog style content. They
She could really be like on extra or
Oh my God, she has entertainment, like,
tonight.
yeah, like interview skills, all that stuff.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
she's got they did a complex interview, and she was so good in it. Um so yeah, I she is it. They're all three it. So
Yes, they are. They just have such fun together. Are they still in New York? Or
yeah,
they
I think they
leaving?
had a watch party today for the reunion. So I don't know if it was like it didn't seem like it was open to the public. So guys, if we want the tea, we have to follow them, but you can always follow me at Entertainment in Color on all social media platforms. I'm Entertainment in Cole Media on Twitter. And I've been following them. If you follow me on TikTok, I repost all the stuff that I find for them. So they'll come in, if you follow me and you interact with me, I try to share all their stuff. It'll come in your feed just in case you don't get a notification. And I have, just been sharing whatever I could find for them. Mary says I'm too old for TikTok. Well, I'm on other social media platforms too.
Mary Chelsea is on the block. Yeah, she's on the block.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry.
um, so yes. Listen, if we want the real tea, we have to hope for our PPG reality TV show. And also we have to watch the behind the scenes of real life
Yeah,
because
they try to vlog and they're always so like, I'm so bad at this. I'm trying. But I'm sure it gets taxing. Like when you're used to just going about your day and then you got to remember, like, no, I need to record this. I need to do this. I need to do that. And then Leah claims that she be recording stuff and somehow it gets lost. I don't know what she over there doing with that phone, but she claims she done recorded the whole thing. And Miguel be like, and I love their bands. And Miguel be like, no, you didn't. She like, stop it. You know I did it.
they're very funny. They're very cute.
They're very cute.
Serena did say that she had, she was trying to decompress one of the days she was in New York because she was very overwhelmed. Listen, they got bombarded. I'm telling you, I went to that panel and they just got bombarded with people, and they were getting bombarded at their literally people were at the panel and said, okay, they're leaving. Let's go to their hotel where they were staying. Right. So they left from where we were uptown and went to downtown to go
That's the
go.
teenagers. I ain't got it in me. I'm not doing all that.
It wasn't even just teenagers. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It wasn't. They went right downtown to go camp out in front of their hotel, trying to catch glimpses of them going to dinner. They, like, people are hardcore. They are celebrities. They are not
And it's
influencers.
never been like this with Love Island. I've been
Not here.
watching. It's never been like this with Love Island people.
Yeah. Yep. I am so happy and proud of them. I want them to have, I said it before, I want them to have everything, and I feel like they're going to get it and they deserve it, and I feel like they just are amazing people. But yes, I'm going to always encourage, that is why I started this platform, Entertainment in Color. Now I'm chit chatting about shows, but when I started it, it was really because people like them weren't coming off these shows and getting their just due. And so I will continue to advocate and push. I understand that social media following is not a right, but why is Miguel at 1.1 million followers? Why is Rob at one something followers? And Cordell, who in my opinion is the motherfucking star of the show, and
Right.
OG just like Rob, why is he not at 1 million? Why
Right.
is he not? So you could say, I try not to compare them, but it's like, come on now, why is Cordell of all people not at 1 million on Instagram?
Exactly.
Right? So why is Janae, of all people, not
Exactly.
1 million on TikTok? Meanwhile, I think she has like 10 million likes from TikToks that she's done. Why are
Right.
you not following her?
And views and stuff.
Right. So it's stuff like that it frustrates me, because these things, I know, like for people, it's like, oh, but maybe I don't want that in your feed, but it also that she has like 7.2 million likes and numerous views. These people will, go can take this to brands and stuff, and get more money in their pocket, and compared to, if we're fighting for Leah, Janae, and Serena to do a show, we want Serena and Janae to be able to come to the table to get equity. We
Right.
need them to get equity when they're doing their contracts. Same thing with the PPGM. They need to be able to come to the table to say, I have this just like she has this. She might have a little more, but I have this just like she has this. I
They
should get
claim
my.
they love them some Janae and Kenny, but Kenny does not have a lot of
Don't even get me started. The only reason why I don't argue about Kenny as much is because, remember, Kenny's a bomb, and he came in right before Casa Amor, so he's like one of the later bombs. So I get it. I really understand it. I will be advocating for him once I get Cordell to 1 million on Instagram, because I absolutely think that it's absolutely wild that he's not
right. I
at
agree.
1 million, and that Janae is not a million on TikTok. I think it's weird.
It is weird.
So I can't even advocate for Kenny, who has, like, he's at 6, I think, on Instagram, and almost 2 on TikTok, because if you can't get 2 OGs, and they're people of color, they're black people, to 1 million, how am I going to get another person of color, Kenny, who's partnered with one of them,
Right.
to even half of that?
Right. I agree. That's what I'm saying. If you like Serena, why wouldn't you just automatically like Cordell? I don't get it.
I don't.
It just it's baffling to me.
Baffling. So, all right, enough of my rant. So, guys, I thank you for following me. Thank you for staying up late. I was trying to catch all these conversations, and I'm going to tell you the truth. The reunion turned out the way I thought it was going to turn out. I know everybody else, it might not have. I'm sorry that you were disappointed, guys. But the real content is in the interviews. So, like I said, follow me on all my social media platforms, and you'll be able to, like, really, I share as much as I can
She
find.
does. She finds a lot and shares a lot.
Yeah.
And she shares it on Instagram, she shares it on Threads, she shares it on Twitter and on TikTok. So please follow her. You'll get all the inside. That's how I found out my tea. I get it from Tamika. So follow her on all of those streams, and we're so glad that y'all stayed up with us. And thank you.
Yeah.
This has been a wild ride, but like the best season. I've enjoyed it so much. I wish them all the best, the very, very best.
I do too, and
And
we might come back, and if there's additional stuff, we'll come back
yeah,
to wrap it up. And thank you,
they
Miss
keep saying
Joy.
they got some surprises for us.
I
So
know.
surprises come. We'll come back to update y'all.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. And as I said, listen, I just found out I had no storage on this thing. I had to delete a bunch of stuff just to do this damn live. So I have to figure out what I'm doing for more content because I'm running out of storage, guys. Um, but we will figure that out, and you can, catch me on my socials, and you will see what we do next. Maybe Love Is Blind UK. Maybe.
I'm
Um,
enjoying it.
yeah, so am I. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.